is okay. Get situated over here.
I just gotta pray about school.
Yes. Amen. Put me there.
I'm just praying, listening to my music this morning.
Good morning, everyone. Good morning. Yes. On behalf of the Marion County Board of County Commissioners, I welcome you to our regularly scheduled meeting, which is the first Tuesday of October. Today is October 1st, and I'm just going to take a little moment to say happy fall, y'all. We're in the Marion County Auditorium located at 601 Southeast 25th Avenue, Ocala, Florida. And if you will all stand with me, Commissioner Moore is going to lead us in our invocation and our Pledge of Allegiance.
Let us pray. Dear Lord, we come into your presence through the power shed blood of Jesus Christ. Thank you for what you've done for us on the cross of Calvary, setting us free. And dear Lord, we know you are the way, truth, and life, and no man comes unto the Father but by you. So that's how we have the access into the throne room of heaven, dear Lord. And dear Lord, we know you're the truth, so we ask that your truth be prevalent today, and in all things that your truth be done, your will be done. Give us your leading wisdom and guidance so we can make the best decisions for the people of Marion County, dear Lord. We ask that you be with our first responders, our 911, with our soldiers that are protecting our country, dear Lord. Just keep them safe and bless them for their service for us, dear Lord, and for keeping our country a free country where we're free to praise you and to worship you and also to pray to you. And dear Lord, just thank you for all that's going to happen today. Help us to, in all that we say and do, to bring honor and glory to your name. Bless each person here that came, that's graduating today from our Citizens Academy and from our Fire Academy, dear Lord. Just be with each one. Put a blessing on their families also, dear Lord. And all that we say and do today, may you get the honor, glory, and praise. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Commissioner Moore, and thank you, everyone, for joining us in that pledge. It's always so nice when the auditorium is so full to hear those words ring out so well. I would also invite you at this time, if you have an electronic device, if you'll please take a moment to set it to silence. If you do need to have a conversation on it or with someone in the auditorium, I'll ask you to please take it out into the foyer. You'll still be able to hear the meeting going on, but that'll keep us from having to participate in your conversation. Madam Clerk, if you'll get us started with roll call, please.
Chairman Stone,
Here.
Vice Chairman Moore,
Here.
Commissioner Bryant,
Here.
Commissioner Gold, Commissioner Zalek.
Here.
All right, and I'll say Commissioner Gold is off on assignment taking care of national security. I will share our announcements, and there are quite a few this morning. Again, this is our regularly scheduled meeting that we are holding right now on the first of the month, the first Tuesday of the month, we will have a public hearing this morning at 10 a.m. or around that time, depending on how the flow of this agenda goes. That public hearing will be regarding Marion County's human trafficking ordinance, and I thank Commissioner Bryant for bringing that forward on behalf of the board. On October the 1st at 1:30 today, Ocala Marion County Transportation Planning Organization will be meeting, and this is termed as an emergency meeting to discuss the TPO website contract. On the 15th at 9 a.m., we will be back in here on the third Tuesday of the month for our regularly scheduled commission meeting. At 10 a.m. that morning, we will consider an adoption of an ordinance for Cherrywood Preserve Phase 1 Municipal Services Benefit Unit, and again, that is a public hearing at 10 a.m. on October the 15th. On October the 15th at 1:50, we will be holding a commission meeting, which will actually be a meeting of the Marion County Community Redevelopment Area Board. On October the 15th at 2 p.m., there will be a zoning, and that again takes place on the third Tuesday of every month. On October the 15th at 2 p.m. or sooner thereafter as possible, we will also be holding a public hearing to consider a road closure petition associated with Silver Spring Shores, Unit 41. And then soon after following that, there'll be another public hearing that same afternoon on the 15th to consider a road closure petition associated with the town of Fairfield. So lots going on over the next 2 weeks in this auditorium. Next, that's going to take us to our first item of business, which will be to approve the proclamations and presentations.
Second.
Got a motion by Commissioner Moore with a second by Commissioner Zalek. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? That motion carries unanimously. To get us started, our first proclamation will be to the 4-H, or is for 4-H Week in Marion County. Mr. David Holmes, who is our Extension Director, if you'll come forward, Commissioner Bryant will be presenting this proclamation.
Good morning. It's good to see you. Okay, great. Hi, Chandler. Nice to meet you. Hi, good morning. Thank you for being with us this morning. Good to see some faces that we see. Good morning. Good to see you this morning. Good morning. Good morning. Okay. Yes. All right. I'm gonna let everybody say good morning. Then you can come over by us. So I'm gonna ask you guys to step that way. And then
I'll
chair.
Well, okay. I was going to try to level us out a little over here.
So, good morning, everyone. It's always a pleasure when we get the opportunity to have some of our fine representatives from our 4-H program in Marion County come and visit with us. And every year we talk about 4-H and the importance of 4-H and 4-H Week. So I do have a proclamation that I'm going to present to you. And Chandler, you will be speaking on behalf of the program once we are done presenting the proclamation. So with that said, this is a proclamation by the Board of County Commissioners of Marion County, Florida. Whereas the goal of Marion County 4-H is to provide youth ages 5 through 18 with opportunities to learn life skills such as citizenship, leadership, communication, and responsibility while enhancing critical STEM, that's science, technology, engineering, and mathematics abilities. And whereas the Marion County 4-H program serves over 4,000 youths through 45 community, school, and special interest clubs, judging teams, school enrichment, and camping programs. And whereas through the theme of 4-H Grows Here, youth will continue to show their 4-H pride and demonstrate to their communities the skills they have mastered and confidence gained as a result of participating in 4-H programs. Now, therefore, the Board of County Commissioners of Marion County, Florida, is subscribing to the aims and objectives of the 4-H and recognize the importance of the University of Florida IFAS Extension Marion County 4-H program, and by virtue of the authority vested in us, do hereby proclaim the week of October 6th through the 12th, 2019, as 4-H Week in Marion County, and earnestly suggest that all citizens take part in the county and community observances being planned in Marion County so that they may more fully realize the many and varied contributions of 4-H to our state's progress. It's duly proclaimed this first day of October 2019, signed by all 5 county commissioners and attested to by David Elsterman, clerk of the court. And Chandler, I'm going to hand you that, and you can hand that down. And I think everyone in this room knows that the Marion County Board of County Commissioners and Marion County have always and will continue to support 4-H in our community because it is all about the youth of our community and the tremendous opportunities that it affords them and the life lessons that it teaches them that they carry on into their lives. So with that, I'm going to turn the mic over to you, Chandler.
Well, thank you very much. And I just want to say thank you to the commissioners for hosting us today. I really do appreciate your time and the support that you've shown 4-H in the community here in Marion County. So Before I get started, I would like to just have all of our 4-Hers here today just introduce themselves and tell you a little bit about where they're from.
I'm Jeremiah. I'm 11 years old, and I've been in 4-H for 4 years. And I'm from Happy Homeschoolers 4-H Club.
My name is Isaiah Caswell. I'm 15 years old, and I've been in 4-H for 7 years, and I'm also from the Happy Homeschoolers 4-H Club.
My name's Kaylin Griffin. I'm 17 years old. I've been in 4-H for 13 years, and I'm from Indigo 4-H Club.
Hi, my name is Mackenzie Forrest, and I'm a part of the Indigo 4-H Club. I am 17 years old.
I'm not a 4-H'er, but I'm a 4-H leader, and I've been a 4-H leader for 18 years. I'm leader of Indigo 4-H Club.
So I'll keep it very brief. Again, my name is Chandler Mulvaney, and I'm the extension agent here working with 4-H and youth development in Marion County. And I've been very pleased by my interactions only in my first 4 months in this position working with 4-H here in Marion County. We are one of the largest programs in the state with over 1,000 youth and approximately 50 clubs throughout the county. So we do a lot from youth animal livestock projects to cooking demonstrations to public speaking, all in a manner of helping youth cultivate confidence and those life skills that translate into a more competent young professional that can work better for you and local businesses. So with that, this is our 77th year nationally celebrating National 4-H Week from over 3,000 extension facilities nationwide. So if you're interested in partnering with us this week, the 6th through the 12th, or in future years, I encourage you to reach out to our office, which is the Marion County Extension Office. So with that, I'll turn it back over. We do have 2 events planned. We have on the 12th, we have 4-H Day at Coon Hollow, which is a kind of like corn maze and
Fall.
yeah, very fall festival. There you go. So we'll be getting our week started off with that. But this year's theme is actually called Inspire Kids to Do. So throughout the week, we have each day is inspiring kids to do something that gets them out of their comfort zone.
Thank you all for being here with us this morning. And again, I just can't say enough how important 4-H is in our community and how much it means to the youth of our community and the life lessons that it teaches them. And you know, I see some of these faces we've seen up here for the last several years, and it's a pleasure to see you come back, and I hope you continue. Anybody showing anything this year in the youth fair? What do you, here, I'm going to let you tell them what you're showing.
Just chickens and a duck.
Anybody showing any hogs or steers? Okay,
I'm showing swine.
fine. And tell them a little bit about what you have to do that.
So we get the swine when it's about 100 pounds, and we have to raise it, and then we show it and sell it. Oh, yes, the money's going towards colleges.
Very good.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Everyone's kind of getting a little closer. 3, 2, 1.
Very good. Thank you. Hey, you guys can go on TV the best in the year. This year's special. Good to see you. Thank you. Thank you, David. Team, thank you so much. We appreciate your leadership. Okay, so next we're going to have a presentation. This is our first Employee Academy graduating class. Amanda Tart is going to be presenting. She's our Human Resources Director. And I am just looking, they're going to be in alphabetical order.
Yes, start with that stack.
Yes, ma'am.
Have you told them all that they have to get up here and say what they what the most important thing that they learned through the academy?
You all have to get up there and say the most important thing you learned.
And it starts with Giovanni.
Giovanni is first alphabetically.
So Amanda, give us some instruction when they come up. How do you want us to stand?
So what we're going to do is we are going to do an individual picture with each graduate. So as I call their name, they'll come up. You can make them dance or say whatever you want them to say. We'll do an individual picture, and then we'll have the next person come up, and then at the end we'll do a big group photo. Okay? All right, so good morning, Commissioners. Amanda Tart, Human Resources Director. On May 15th, 2019, the Marion County Board of County Commissioners' inaugural year of the Employee Academy began. The Employee Academy is an initiative derived from the 5-year Empowering Marion Strategic Plan. Employees were encouraged to apply for a 10-week course that took them into all the departments within the county to show them a more in-depth, behind-the-scenes look at each department. By participating in the Academy, employees learned about all of the departments every Wednesday morning from 9 to noon. And now I'd like to present to you the graduating class of 2019 for the Employee Academy. From administration, we have Giovanni Arenas.
Do I want to say something? I'll just say it from over there then. I just want to say, as a first graduate, I'm excited to be here. And but in reality, this was a really great experience, I think, for all of us, for all my classmates. It was great to see the core values put into place in all of our departments. So thank you all for the opportunity to have a program like this in place. And now I'm excited to lead others and show them what I learned. So thank you.
Maybe Zalek should go over there.
Nicer picture.
All right, there we go. 3, 2, 1.
Okay, and next from Human Resources, we have Marissa Atwell.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you. Oh, thank you.
Oh my God.
I just want to express how grateful I am that I had the opportunity to learn about all the different departments and how important they are and how knowledgeable all of our staff members are. So thank you for allowing me to have this opportunity.
Thank you.
Okay, and next from Extension Services, we have Caitlin Bainham.
This is a real thing. So thank you all so much. I know we all learned a lot, so it's one thing to know what we all do in our departments, but to learn how everybody works together. County government's complex, so definitely helped me out learning how all the pieces fit together on the wheel, so thank you.
Okay. And from administration and now to facilities management, we have Carrie Blood.
Still trying to figure out how people go from administrations to facilities all the time.
I think it's a little bit of thievery going on there.
Here's Becca giving thumbs up.
For sure.
So one of the biggest things I learned is how much we depend on each other. So we are truly intertwined, and just internal customer service just was highlighted for me. So yes, thank you.
And from Animal Services, from Human Resources, we have Kim Brandalion. She's not here with us today. From Animal Services, we have Tina Ballou.
Just wanted to say thank you for the opportunity to learn all about all the different departments from Marion County and how they work together.
And from Facilities Management, we have April Chappell.
Was she class president?
Sounds like it.
Most congenial.
Oh.
She was the light.
You're like voted Miss Congeniality.
Be the light.
Thank you. I just want to thank everyone for the opportunity to take the class and to learn so much about each department. It helps me to provide better customer service. So when someone calls, I don't have to transfer them and say, well, let me see who does that. Now I know who does that and I can transfer them to the correct department. So thank you.
And from Facilities Management, we have Jason Chesser.
Being with facilities, it was nice to be able to get out to all the other departments and put names with faces and see what everybody else gets to do for the county. We get to go around and see where everybody is, but being able to know what they do also, like April said, helps us give just a little bit better customer service to all the other departments.
And from Fire Rescue, we have Captain Pam Driggers. They're daring.
Good morning.
Well, a little bit of drill and ceremony for them. Now, I think this was an awesome opportunity to do. You think you know what each department does, but you really don't know until you get out there and you visit and you intermingle with all the different employees. So to come together as a team and work as a team, I think this is, the Employee Academy is awesome. And I learned so much, from each department. So thank you.
And from Fire Rescue, we have Pam Dordery.
Well, this was an awesome opportunity, and what I enjoyed most was all the tours that we took. There's so many places out there I didn't even know existed, and the hands-on was great. It was really, really great. Thank you.
And from the Office of the County Engineer, we have Donald Gadsden.
It's funny how each department think they have the most important job in the county, but all together it's a good place to work for. Yeah, we got the best.
And from the library, we have Ashley Glover.
This was a great opportunity and experience. I have a great respect for what the commissioners do and what we all do to keep the county government running.
And from the Office of the County Engineer, Robert Carl.
You feel like you're a Price is Right contestant?
Yeah, see me running? The only person out there, or the only person willing to be seen in public, Commissioner? All right. All right.
So this is what everybody sees when you're up here.
All right.
Right up there.
Yeah, look at that.
All right, look at that. All right, well, like everybody was saying, the best part of this was, you know, we see what we see when we're working out on our jobs, but, you know, when we see everybody else, like, what I took in the best was going to utilities and seeing what goes in the hole, all right, coming out of the hole, and you get to drink it, all right? Nobody ever sees that, okay? That, I think, was the most exciting part, okay? Right? And then, oh, yeah, try it. I was like, I'll take your word for it, okay? But it's very exciting process, and it's really, really technically, I liked it. It was pretty cool. How, you know, I took the word for it, but I'm not going to drink it. But, but anyway, it was a very exciting process and a very educational, and I'm looking forward to the future with everybody else coming up. So thank you. All right.
And from the library, we have Sean Leary.
I didn't have a speech prepared, but wow, this was an incredible opportunity. I want to thank you for opening this up. It's a great opportunity for us to have. I agree. One of the most exciting parts of the tour was when we got to visit see how all the bugs in this county are so important to us. We've got bugs creating electricity for us. I didn't realize that till I took this tour. We got bugs helping us have clean water. I didn't realize we had that until I took this tour. There's so much we learned going to each department. And it's just, now it's an opportunity where I can, when other people come in to the library or when I'm working with other people and they ask about questions about other departments, I have better knowledge of how we all work together as a huge team. Without each other, it just takes us all to work together. And I have a challenge. I challenge every elected official, every manager and supervisor to take the Employee Academy. It is so important to help customer service so that you know how other departments are working. I mean, this has been great. It's been awesome. I want to thank you all for the opportunity.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah, the picture.
And from Fire Rescue, we have James Lucas.
Chief, they told me to keep my mouth shut. Oh, come on.
I would like to echo the statements of the classmates. My biggest takeaway right now would be the relationships developed with all of them and getting to know each other and being able to make those telephone calls to get things done in other departments. Biggest takeaway would be how busy Amanda Tart is. She's pretty busy, just a little bit. My greatest thing that I learned was the extension service and their fall sale coming up this weekend. Like, I'm really excited to go out there and do that. So I appreciate you guys having this program and would, be happy to help doing the next one as well.
And with the Office of the County Engineer, we have Darwin Madrid.
I don't know where to start. I want to thank Bobby and Amanda for all the support they give us. They were such a champ. They walked us through this, and it was a great learning experience. And then it helps us. Like, we have a lot of people walk up to us because we're out in the public a lot, say, "Are you hiring?" And then we can point. We'll ask what you do, and we'll tell them where they can go. So this helped a lot, and I think it's going to tie the county together better. So I'm glad we did this. So.
Okay, and with Fire Rescue, we have Kenny McCann.
I'd like to echo everybody else's thoughts. I appreciate having the opportunity to participate in the first and the best program, because we are number one. Thanks to Amanda and Bobby for all they do. Amanda, I've already started recruiting for the next class, so I have some good potential candidates. And I think this class just proves that the most valuable asset to the county is its people.
And from the library, we have Debbie McAfee.
Well, I don't really know where to begin. I didn't have any idea what all the county does. I mean, it's just was amazing. And I already got a lot of people wanting to do it. They've asked me all about it, and I was like, yeah, if you get the chance, do it, because it's a great learning experience. And thank y'all very much for allowing us to do it.
And with the Office of the County Engineer, we have Michael Nelson.
Well, here we go. I ain't so shy, so since we got to do it. But this was a great opportunity. We learned a lot of information. I don't know what to say if it hadn't already been said, but like, everybody thinks their department is the best. But you got to have roads to get there, you know what I mean? Not get there without roads, but thanks for the opportunity.
And with the Office of the County Engineer, we have Joshua Roos.
No, thank you for this opportunity. Bobby did a really good job taking us all over the place. I met a whole bunch of new people. What I got most out of this is how the county actually reaches out to help their citizens. That's pretty cool. I didn't realize that. I work for Stormwater. I don't think I do that big of an impact, but when you look at everybody else and what we do, we're pretty cool.
Yes.
I think so.
And from Tourist Development, we have Sky Wheeler.
He needs to follow your footsteps.
Absolutely.
Just touch.
Good morning. Man, should have really married somebody further up in the alphabet. I ran out of stuff to say. Really sweating it being like the last one. But no, I just wanted to say, again, like everybody else, thank you very much. And I think it really says a lot about the leadership in Marion County from a board level and an administration level that this many people can be given the opportunity to take their time away from their time in the field, but it's not impacting the services we're able to provide because we have the ability to achieve what we need to get done, and we recognize the investment in our people. So really appreciate that opportunity.
And from 911 Management, we have Christy Wright.
Let's see. Well, for me, I've been with the county for 21 years, and to be able to learn what each department does and the intricacies in each department, and I guess the hands-on stuff that we did was really cool. I encourage every employee to take advantage of this opportunity. And thank you guys very much.
And last but certainly not least, from the Office of the County Engineer, Christopher Ziegler.
Well, I'd like to say, reiterate a lot of the comments about how great this program was, and I appreciate having the opportunity to be involved. My biggest takeaway was not just learning about how unique every department is and their mission and what they do, but also realizing how dependent all the departments are on each other in accomplishing those individual missions.
So as the last, Chris, is there something that you're going to do to keep this class together?
Yeah, well, I believe part of the objectives here is we'll become mentors to future employees and other classmates, and I'm sure we'll begin together on a fairly regular basis as time goes on to help mentor the other classes and new employees.
So will you take the first month to pull your team together?
Yeah, I'll definitely, we'll organize a lunch here in the next week.
About 11:30, we're El Terrell.
Thank you. I didn't want you to not get an opportunity to show your leadership. We might as well stand here. Okay, so we're going to invite all the graduates to return to the stage for a group photo.
So it's amazing what happens. And of course, the first and best class is in blue, right? So y'all are honorary Team Blue members, as always, and we'll continue to make sure that you guys have great success. And when Team Blue gets to your department, please make sure that you guys come to our meeting.
And while we're getting organized up here, I do want to thank all of the directors who made the provision for all of these fine employees to attend.
Take a picture. You surely can have mine here.
Don.
You can write it in
There you go.
It's really about you guys.
There you go. Now you can't see me.
I don't need to be in. All right, I'll get in.
All right, I need to see everyone's face. All right. All right, just hold that smile. Yes, sir. No blinking.
Nobody move, the paparazzi's out there.
All right, thank you all again. Thank you.
You're busting down.
So again, thank you for the time and effort all of these graduates put forth. And again, thank you for all the directors who supported them being with us on each Wednesday morning. For how many weeks was that? 10 weeks. So I'm sure they got to see a lot. And again, we're grateful for the investment that the directors took to make sure that they were able to be there. So thanks again. Next on our agenda, we have a presentation on the Florida Friendly Landscape. And I believe we have Amanda Americ. Thank you very much, Miss Americ. With the extension agent, she is an extension agent. She's going to be presenting a certificate of appreciation to the Office of Environmental Services. So all those that will be participating in this presentation, I invite you to come forward. Amanda, I'll bring you right here to the center, please. Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning. Thank you.
You can come on. Good morning. I'm going to bring we're not in Lecanto. Good morning. Good job. I feel like we're not in Oz.
Going to give you the award.
All right. Here you go, sir.
Good morning. As they said, my name is Amanda Merrick. I'm the Florida Friendly Landscaping Agent for the UF-IFAS Marion County Extension Service. And no, we didn't pay the gentleman from Employee Academy who put a plug for our fall plant sale. Thank you for that. Yes, this weekend is our fall Master Gardener plant sale, so please come out this Saturday. All right, so with that, the University of Florida's Florida Friendly Landscaping Program is a statewide initiative to help commercial, residential properties be more, obviously, Florida friendly. Preserving water quality, conserving water as well, those are the two main goals for Florida Friendly. So with that, the Florida Friendly Landscaping Program is totally reliant on community partnerships. Today, we are celebrating that partnership between the Water Coordination Team, UF-IFAS Marion County Extension, and of course, Marion County Utilities for having a Florida-friendly landscape on their property. So we do have a certificate for you.
Do we have some photos?
We do. We should have a presentation with photos circulating as well for the before and after.
Up on the screen.
Yep. There we go. So yes, these were the before and after photos from Marion County Utilities. And yes, the grasses were beautiful, but a little pokey to the eyeballs when people came out of their cars. So we are very proud to have this Florida-friendly landscape there at the Marion County Utilities building with, of course, signage to educate the public who comes to the garden to learn about Florida-friendly. So with that, we thank you for everything that you've done and to promote Florida-friendly landscaping in Marion County. Thank you.
Well, again, I appreciate this. The Office of Environmental Services, we're proud to do our part and promote this. And again, thank you very much.
Well, I just want to put in a plug for the Water Resources Landscape and Irrigation Retrofit Program because we are promoting Florida Friendly for residents within Marion County. So if you want to transform your yard into a Florida Friendly yard, come see me and I've got all the details. You can come see me in the Office of the County Engineer, and we are across the street from this building. Give your name. My name is Michonne Fabio, Water Resources Liaison. Thank you very much.
Three, two, one.
Thank you.
Thanks, Jeremy.
All right. Thank you. Thanks again.
See you again, Dave.
Thanks. All right. Thank you.
If you could stay up front, commissioners, if you could stay up. Yes, please. Please.
Okay, we are now welcoming to the podium Jim Couillard with Parks and Recreation. He is our director over there, and he has a presentation on sports tourism for 2019 and an update.
Good deal. Got a couple of people from our staff team and the Visitors and
welcome you to
Convention
join
Bureau
us.
as well. Loretta's behind us. Go ahead and get up there. Keep going.
Hi, you're back again. Yay.
Thanks.
I'm so surprised.
You look good, buddy. Hey, how come Greg Wiley doesn't have to Wiley, where's your time? I'm
I'm sure they'll see it.
Y'all get on the inside.
Commissioners, thank you for taking a little bit of time out here today for us to provide you with this update. I'm Jim Couillard, your Parks and Recreation Director. We're thankful for the support that you provide to the Parks and Recreation Department and to the Visitors and Convention Bureau to allow us to showcase the facilities that we manage and our united abilities to do great things for our community. Since October 2018, the two departments have worked together along with the leagues at 4 of our major sports complexes and attracted and hosted 14 tournaments for baseball and softball this past year. That's up from 4 tournaments in 2015, so we've really grown a lot. The tournaments this year were hosted at Bellevue Sportsplex, Shocker Park, Rotary Sportsplex, and Wrigley Fields, drawing a total of 446 teams, and of them, 352 from outside of Marion County. So 79% of those teams were coming in. Over 70,000 visitors used those 4 parks in a period of 14 play days. So that's a lot of people jammed in those facilities all at once. The Parks and Recreation staff that we have here with you, I have Ed Howard, our athletics park ranger, and Michael Farr, his great number 2, also led by Greg Weiler, our operations manager. We're the ones with their boots on the ground, making sure the facilities are tournament ready, grooming the fields, and working tirelessly through the hottest months of the year to make these events happen, all while earning a reputation across the state of having the best facilities and the best athletic staff. And that's a fact. We've heard that from leadership in Tallahassee. So really proud of this team. We're proud of all of our staff. We're also very fortunate to have a strong partnership with the Visitors and Convention Bureau, support from the Tourism Development Council, and the Board of County Commissioners. As you may have already seen on that agenda item, the TDC provided us with $48,000 in grants to the leagues. That helps cover their costs for umpires and getting all those events going. Out of our Parks and Recreation budget, we've spent $44,768 in personnel, labor, and materials to keep those tournaments moving. So combined, that's a $92,000 investment. What's amazing about this whole story is that our consolidated efforts on this made those 14 tournaments, created a $5.3 million impact to our community. So that's a 57-time return. So sports tourism in Marion County is the key to remember about these tournaments is that they only feature 2 sports. That's just softball and baseball. So as we continue to grow sports tourism in Marion County, only the greatness will follow that. So we're really looking forward to increasing our venues. We'd like to thank you again for our support. And with that, we'd like the Parks and Recreation Department would like to present Loretta and her team with a nice appreciation plaque. So we'd like to take that moment to give her that recognition.
Wow. It humbles me, not only today hearing our peers in the audience and how grateful we all are, but just humbles me working with you all and how much that as hard as Corey works to bring home sports tourism, when we collectively work internally, it really takes the beauty of what you all bring to life to tell the true story and to bring back people time and time again. And it's a real testament to Corey bring home Cal Ripken with you all and being able to host the World Series again and all the great things to come. So do know we thank you and our continued support partnership. Truth being said, we heard a lot about teams today, and there's no I in the word team, and I think that's very intentional. So thank you for your teamwork and your cooperation, and we look forward to all the great things. Likewise, my friend. Thank you.
Thank you.
We'll just take one small step to the right. Squeeze in a little bit. 3, 2, 1.
Great job. Oh, wait, Kelsey's got heels. Her wedges on. I was going to tell you, you're almost the tallest.
I'm taller than her. So.
Oh, she's still taller than you.
She'd take me down to volleyball.
I might have her basketball.
Ribs.
Thank you. Y'all have a great day. Appreciate it. Appreciate that. It's great to recognize so many wonderful things going on within our county and within our community. So we appreciate those that have been here this morning to take the time to do that. Next on our agenda is public comments. We don't have anyone who had signed up previously for 5 minutes, but I do want to open it to the audience. If you would like to come forward to address the board about anything that is on our agenda this morning, I invite you to come forward now and just let us know what that item is. Seeing no one, we will close this portion of public comment and bring it back to the board to adopt 2 sets of minutes.
So moved.
Got a motion by Commissioner Moore, second by Commissioner Zalek. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? That motion carries unanimously. We do not have any constitutional officers or governmental outside agencies, but we do have our clerk of the court. And Mr. Clerk, Mr. Elseman?
Madam Chair, 5A, 1 through 2 is budget amendments as listed on the agenda.
So moved. Second.
Got a motion by Commissioner Moore, second by Commissioner Zalek to approve 5A 1 through 5A 2. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? That motion carries unanimously.
Thank you.
We have 2 minutes before going into our public hearing, so I'm going to just take this moment to, we'll start with our consent agenda, if there's anything that wants to be pulled, and then we will come back before we approve that. I'll start with Commissioner Bryant.
I'm good.
Commissioner Zalek.
Yes, I just have one question on 7F1.
7F1, okay. Commissioner Moore?
I'm good.
Okay. With that,
Everything but 7F1.
we have a motion to approve the consent agenda 7A1 through 7G12 with the exception of 7F1. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? That motion carries unanimously, and we will address 7F1 after we conclude our public
I
hearing.
didn't have a second, I think.
Who
right?
was the second on that?
Who seconded the motion?
I can.
I thought, yeah, I'm sorry if
I
I
don't know
failed
what I
to
did.
say it. Yes.
You said something, maybe it wasn't.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
I heard something.
I did too, so I apologize if I failed to bring that forward. Okay, we'll move to our public hearing, and let me get that open. We have a public hearing to discuss Marion County's human trafficking ordinance, and do we have anyone who's going to bring this forward with staff?
I can do it.
Yes, Mr. Mentor.
All right, Madam Chair, at the board's request, we have brought before the board a human trafficking ordinance that's modeled after those that have been adopted by other Florida jurisdictions. And so what this does is it provides for certain establishments in Marion County that would pertain to certain types of places like massage parlors and places where there's human contact, which enterprises are not licensed healthcare businesses, and also anything that would be an adult entertainment club. And it would require any of these enterprises to conspicuously post notices to people that both work there and other people that may go to those establishments to warn them about the dangers of human trafficking, and to notify people that if either they themselves or they know someone who they feel may be a victim of human trafficking, meaning that they are coerced to work in their position, they feel stuck in their position, and for some reason they want some help to get out of that situation. This would provide those people with notifications of who to contact, that kind of thing. So it's got a provision for enforcement if we adopt this ordinance and some businesses refuse to comply with these notification requirements, then we could have the sheriff's office assisting us in enforcing these requirements. So that's presented to you for your consideration.
Thank you very much, Mr. Mentor. Could we please get proof of publication, Madam Clerk?
Yes, ma'am. I have proof of publication of legal ad A000958677 entitled Notice of Public Hearing, published in the Star Banner newspaper on September 19th, 2018. However, this appears to be a typographical error. 2018.
2019.
Yes.
Madam Chair, on that notice of publication, if you look about 3 lines above that, where it says 2018, it says 2019. So I think clearly there's no question there was a typographical error.
So are we good?
Yeah, we're
with-
good.
Okay,
Yeah.
with the public? Okay, very good. Thank you for reviewing the ordinance that we'll be discussing today. I'm going to open it up to the public. If there is anyone in the public who would like to address the board on this topic, I invite you to come forward now. Again, this is a public hearing to consider Marion County's human trafficking ordinance that's been noticed. Seeing no one in the audience, I'll bring it back to the board.
And Madam Chair?
Yes.
If I may, I do
Commissioner
have a
Bryant.
few things that I would like to say about this.
Please.
According to some facts that I've pulled up online, I just wanted to share these with the public so that you can realize how important doing whatever we can do to battle the issue of human trafficking is. These statistics are as of 2018, and they come from Business Insider. And according to them, the United States, along with Mexico and the Philippines, was ranked one of the world's worst places for human trafficking in 2018. And in the United States, there is no official number of human trafficking victims, but estimates place it in hundreds of thousands. The National Human Traffic Hotline receives an average of 150 calls per day, and there is an estimate between 18 to 20,000 victims are trafficked right here in the United States every year. And I think one of the most staggering things about the whole issue, as horrible as it is that our children are the most vulnerable. With approximately 300,000 are at risk of sexual exploitation. So I think any step, any measure that we can take to bring awareness to what's happening right here in our own country and our own state. One of the things I didn't say was that most cases are reported in California, Texas, and Florida. So right here in our own backyard. So anything that we can do to bring awareness to this issue, I think is very, very important.
So I take that as your motion?
My motion would be for approval, yes.
Second.
We have a motion by Commissioner Bryant with a second by Commissioner Moore to approve the ordinance for Marion County's human trafficking ordinance that's been presented this morning. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? That motion carries unanimously. And during Commissioner Bryant's comments, on the screen you would have seen how to contact if you are aware of a situation or if you find yourself in a situation. And I would just like to ask that our website, again, here in Marion County, if we can get our public information officer to be sure that that is on our website. So again, we help get that word out. And I'm going to share that number one more time. And if we could even bring that sheet one more time for anyone who is listening, who is online, or anyone in the audience, to make sure that you take a snapshot of that. If you feel the need to share that. And let me just ask, where will people have the opportunity to get the material to hang in their businesses?
You can probably print that. Yeah.
We can find out and
Okay.
make it available on our site.
Okay.
So people can reach it.
We'll make sure that the material that needs to be hanging in the businesses are going to be available on our website so that people can make sure that they are in compliance and get this message out. That takes us back to 7F1, and thank you, Commissioner Zalek, for pulling this. I think this is a great opportunity to highlight this, and if we could bring Ms. Schaefer forward.
My question is actually for the engineer as well, so if they want to make their way up.
Sure.
Good morning, Loretta Schaefer, Tourist Development Department, and Kimberly
you,
Horn
buddy?
is here with me as well.
So, Ms. Schaefer, would you please review 7F1, and I believe Commissioner Zalek is going to have a question on behalf of the engineering.
Absolutely. As part of the gateway signage, the overall concept, these are the pillars that will be the entryway signage that will replace the green signs that say Marion County and really create that sense of place on I-75, where every day we have anywhere from 75,000 to 90,000 people going by every day. So in conjunction with the gateway signage and the pillars coming north to south, and then long-term, the 5-year plan of being able to capitalize coming from the north to the south, this is that segment of that project.
So, Loretta, does this get permitted all at the same time
No, sir.
Okay.
No, sir.
So
They're
when are
two
the phases
separate.
going to be done, or how's
Yes.
that going to work?
Yep, I'll actually let Rick speak to that. There's actually two processes that are quite different between state and federal on both, so I'll let him do an overview.
Okay.
Thank you.
Sure.
Morning, Mr. Bush.
Good morning, thank you. Richard Bush, Kimley Horn and Associates, 101 East Silver Springs Boulevard, Ocala. Yes, sir.
So a few years ago, I had the pleasure of serving as the TDC liaison, and so this kind of started, I think, maybe right as Commissioner Bryant was coming off, and I was shifting on, and then it's kind of carried through a couple other commissioners. So I have a little bit of knowledge, but only enough to be scary. Okay. I know the overall Ocala horse farm scene was kind of the overall gateway, kind of coming off the bridge there and the overpass, and then these pillars. So can you just shape this whole project together for me, how it's going to work, how they will be phased in, what the timelines are?
Certainly. So this design that's before you today is for entry signage at the county lines. So this is a proposed design. The TDC got with us a few weeks ago and asked us to do some concepts for when you're driving northbound and southbound on I-75, could you have something at the county line that would tell you that you've entered Marion County?
Okay.
So that's what this is. It's not the pillars.
I misunderstood.
For the
Are these going to be the identical things at the gateway as well on those
they're,
overpasses?
No, they're not. These are, for one thing, these are a lot shorter, but we did pull in a lot of the same design elements intentionally. So you see the type of block that's proposed, the county logo, the colors, those all tie back to the design that's being processed for the overall gateway. So this one is 14 feet high. Excuse me. Let me do the math there before Monier corrects me. 15 feet high. And this will be lit. It'll have light landscaping. It'll be off to the side of the road. And as you drive into Marion County, you see it. So one will be at the north end and one will be at the south end.
Miles away from the...
Miles away from the flyover, yes.
Yes, the flyover. Because this is going to be on the north end of Marion County as you exit Alachua, coming into Marion County, and then again as you exit Marion County going into Sumter County.
So currently the county has a couple
Just on one side of the road,
Just on one side of the road, so northbound traffic will see it on the south end, southbound on the north end. Right now you have like a green sign that says "Welcome to Marion County." It's got an old logo on it. This is to replace those.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
And so did you guys have the discussion about, I guess, if it was there, or does it not want to say, is there a reason that it doesn't say welcome to Marion County or any of those things? And my real concern, in all honesty, is, and maybe even for the one that's going to be part of the overall gateway signage on the overpass, is that, to me, when you think about coming down the road at, absolutely 70 miles an hour or less,
yes, sir. Yeah.
on I-75, that that these things they just look close together on the picture. Now maybe that doesn't really look like that in real life, but the vertical plays with my eyes, even just staring at it on the screen, never mind coming down, and I'm concerned that those things actually truly stand out and that you can read Marion County clearly, in the, I don't know, is it you have a second or two coming down the past it to see it?
Yeah, you'll probably see it we'll study it. So this is the concept.
Right.
So we have a task order in to do the final, to do the next design and look at those things. You'll probably see it for a few seconds as you're driving. Okay.
So 7 foot wide, 15 feet high.
Mm-hmm.
I would say we're going to see it from a distance.
But the letter...
I'm just concerned about it being readable. The vertical, being truly readable, right?
The letter height and the contrast.
Yeah, because I think they're kind of close together.
Okay.
And I think that they're both vertical. Maybe they shouldn't be. I don't know.
We'll take that into consideration as we move forward in design, yes, sir.
That was my only real concern. I like the sign. I like the way we're going. Now, what is going to be the difference between this and what, other than size, the one at the gateway or the overpass?
So there's going to be a few differences. I wish I had that graphic with me. There's no letter. Do we have it? There's no lettering on the columns, for one thing. It doesn't say Marion County. Mm-mm. Yeah, it says Ocala on the bridge. It does have the logo, so that's similar. In this rendering, the blue element is at the base, and on the columns, when you're on the flyover, the blue element is up at the top, so that it can be lit and so you can see it. So
and they'll both be lit with kind of like a blue LED. Is that
soft LED
blue?
lighting.
Okay.
We haven't worked out the final lighting on this one yet, whether it would be, yes, they'll both be lit softly with LED lighting, yes. I was just about to say, we might have an uplight component to this one that we don't have on the bridge.
That's
Yeah,
what
that's
I'm
fine.
envisioning.
But we'll get into that in the next phase of design.
So will you bring that back to us? Or no?
I'd be glad to.
Will it come back? I mean, at the end of the day, Commissioners, I'm always wanting to see what the final will look like
Right.
versus just the concept. So if you don't mind, can we have it come back before us?
Sure.
Yeah, and it once it comes back and we get through with this, we'll be taking it back to the TDC, and I think that's a great point. We certainly can bring it back and just show you all the final execution and how everything. I
Rick
think
does a
that's
great job.
point.
I mean, I know we saw the other design, and I like the fact that we could see the design and final both in daylight and in night, and they can show us that what it'll look like.
Perfect, and we'll bring them in tandem so you can see the big picture.
Awesome.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, so with that, 7F1.
So moved.
Second.
Got a motion by Commissioner Zalek with a second by Commissioner Moore to approve 7F1. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? That motion carries unanimously. We look forward to seeing the next phase of this. That's going to take us into Mr. Mentor, a request for consideration of release of civil restitution lien for Samuel I. Gordon.
All right, is Mr. Gordon here?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, sir.
Okay.
Mr.
Come on up.
Gordon, we'll invite you to come down. Mr. Mentor, do you have any comments before we move forward with this?
This is, as the board has seen on several occasions, an opportunity for someone who has an outstanding lien with Marion County as a result of incarceration costs to request either reduction or release of the civil restitution liens. Mr. Gordon has provided a letter to the board, and I'm sure he's going to give his presentation. I did speak to Commissioner Gold, and he told me that he was hoping to be able to provide a letter or memo.
Who you
to the
said,
board.
sir? Excuse me, I'm not trying to cut in.
He can't hear you, I don't think.
Oh.
You
I
said
did-
Commissioner who?
We're going to get to you in just 1 second. Commissioner Gold is not with us today. Mr. Mentor is referencing his conversation with Commissioner Gold prior to today.
Commissioner Gold indicated to me that he was favorable to the request for release of the lien because he had known this gentleman and felt like he had made a lot of progress in his life. So
Very
I
good.
turn that over to you.
Thank you, thank you, Mr. Mentor. Just to clarify, Commissioner Gold is not with us today, but he had a previous conversation with Mr. Mentor, and he is favorable to your request. However, Mr. Gordon, I'm going to give you an opportunity to address the board concerning your request, and if you would like to elaborate. You have beautiful handwriting. It was a little difficult for me to read it just based on your very scriptive handwriting. So if you'll just review with the board what your request is, please.
Well, ma'am, I'm not trying. I came up here with a lot of things.
And Mr. Gordon, I'm sorry, I should have asked your name and address for the record.
My name's Samuel Ivory Gordon.
Yes, sir.
Born in 1968.
And your address?
6519 Northeast 22nd Court.
Ocala.
I got 3121 and 17th Street over there. And God gave me.
Congratulations. Madam Clerk, did you get that? Okay, very good. Thank you, Mr. Gordon.
I'm pleased to come up here, ma'am. Something I didn't think I'd be able to do. A lifetime of crack cocaine. That man y'all just mentioned, he helped save my life. Just come near y'all and talk on this side of the podium, man, being arrested for smoking crack. That's all I ever did. Never broke no laws, really. Never been violent or nothing. Now I'm teaching. I'm writing a book called $5. That dang house is what they gave me, what I inherited from God. It was a dream of a ticket, $5 payday. They gave me everything when I was in prison just a while ago because I stopped smoking crack and got me a wife. And I forgot all the things I didn't know. I was raised by John Wayne, them people I see on TV. Somebody I want to be like. I ended up being a crackhead. Smart in school and quit because they said I raped somebody I didn't. 6 people went to jail back then. I was one of them. My daddy just did something down in Howard Mills and lost his pension. I'll tell y'all life story, I ain't gonna do all that. Y'all know about it. Officer Gold was there when I was in my versus ways. I got shot in both my legs. I ain't gonna tell on nobody. What the county jail wanted me to do. You gotta live out there in them streets. You tell on somebody in this public record, they kill you. Never told on nobody. Just had a lifetime of crack cocaine for 25 years of my life. God gave me a way out and started thinking about my life, and he gave me a poem about the grown man thing. You tell a person they're a grown man because they're age and smoking cigarettes and stuff, but they ain't. I ain't had no qualities of what y'all got going on because I ain't learned all that. My day was like this. I get up and think about a piece of crack from the time I was 16 years old till I got 30-some years old, man. And I'm writing videos on Facebook to people who like me, that people look over. What about a storm drain? Yeah, I see a storm drain. I can fix that. I'm born in 68. But what about a person who walked through that life of crack cocaine or any drug you got, who blind him all them years? I don't even know I ain't signed a paper for liens or records. That's how bad it was. Until I started reading and writing, and I write good, and straight A student quit. And called me a rapist. That didn't supposed to be true. I went to prison just a while ago, and I forgot what God told me, and I had to get my family right ahead and got me a wife, and didn't know how to take care of the job, closed down Mid-Florida Mining. And I sold that mess. And I ain't mad at myself no more about it. I did something and I made a mistake again. After I got clean, I lost my wife, my dog, and my kids. God renewed me with our grandkids and all. And I had prayed before I went to prison, told him I ain't got nothing to leave him. I ain't worrying about me. My life over with. But when my son seen that part where somebody said his house is old already. How, Dad? Your mess is my mess now. I want that off of there. I worked in prison. I worked in jail. Every day, 8 hours a day. Mr. Reed and them out the hog pen. I had a class out there how to breed the hogs. I saved the county a lot of money. They couldn't buy no hogs. I breeded them for them and showed them how to do that. Chicken pens and all. I worked 8 hours a day, 7 days a week because I didn't want to think about that crack. And that jail gave me a way out. And then I started writing. I'm writing a book. All this gonna be in it. I even know I ain't ever talk to y'all, except I'm on the other side of the fence. I'm just mad at my life. People like this need help. There's no programs in Marion County already. That's where I'm born and raised. Last out of 10 getting hand-me-down clothes, you think I wanted that? Ma'am, I'm just telling y'all. There's people like me out there. I'm trying to help now. If that lien come off my houses, I can borrow the money that I done spent to keep on writing books and keep on helping my community like y'all do. Some people just made me proud of them. That dude say he's 11 years old. You know what I was doing 11 years old? I was in the peanut field. And when I got 16, I was on crack cocaine. You know, I'm mad at myself. I'm mad at the people because Jesus Christ said it. He said he was blind. The Samaritan on that road and priest passed by and the rich man. I know who picked me up. And know why I'm gonna pick other people up. Because I know how they feel in that condition because I was in it. You ain't been in that condition, you ain't gonna know how to fix people. And I'm one of them dudes in your county that can help y'all. With that there, we got a program and let me go head on like I did in prison a while ago. I became first in command in there with the warden. Like Joseph did. They showed me favor. I want y'all to give me a favor. I've been here all my life.
So, Mr. Gordon, your request is a release or a reduction totaling $24,260.58. It references that you have a recent illness as well.
Ma'am, my illness is this. I still have to fight against that, and that's the way I do it. I go on Facebook. If you go on Facebook, Sam, you go and you understand what I'm talking about. And it take a man to do that. I wasn't no man. John Wayne was my daddy. I'm telling you because he had respect and honor. He didn't care. He go get what he needed. And if I had to be raised like that, that's what I did. And I'm running out there in that Ram Dodge he blessed me with too. Everything I got paid for. And I don't figure I owe the county and I can help pay for some of it by my service to him if I have to do that. But I don't want that lien on my property. I need more money, and I went to borrow money down here to this title company, and they told me I got liens on my property. I signed papers I don't even know about.
Mr. Gordon, do you have anything else? I've got Commissioner Bryant who has a question.
Yes, ma'am.
Good morning, Mr. Gordon.
I'm okay with everything, man. I just wanted to tell y'all how I feel.
We appreciate.
So, good morning. I just
Good
have a
morning.
couple questions.
Yes, ma'am.
So that we can go ahead and address your request. You say that you were actually part of the work program while you did your time?
Ma'am, I was in every program you had, and I know every one of them staff members, and Officer Gold, every officer, they are vouched for me. I ain't go get no letters. I told God to go before me.
Mr. Mentor, have we been able to verify that?
Commissioner Gold indicated to me when I talked to him, but I haven't, but he indicated to me that Mr. Gordon had been working in that work farm, which I think is his main point, that he had.
Right. And we had another case come before us recently with someone who actually was working while they were serving their time.
Right.
And so with that, I would be in favor, as long as we can verify that he was part of the work program, as long as we can verify that, I would be in favor of releasing his lien.
I'll make a second.
So we've got a motion by Commissioner Bryant to grant the request to, and this is in full, Commissioner Bryant, to waive the sum on both of these properties for both cases to zero, with a second by Commissioner Moore. And again, this is provided that we verify your work program service while you are in the Marion County Jail. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
That motion carries unanimously. Mr. Gordon, forgive yourself.
I do.
And move forward.
I just think
And thank you.
how my life is now.
Congratulations.
My life.
Thank you, Mr. Gordon.
Sir.
Thank you.
You can walk away knowing that your testimony is out there on public record now, and we wish you the very best as you continue to write your book and do well to warn others. So God bless you.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Thanks.
Yes, sir. Next, Mr. Mentor, I think that's appropriate. Absolutely. Mr. Mentor, do you have anything else this morning for
I
us?
have nothing else, Madam Chair. Thank you.
Okay. That's going to then take us to our county administrator.
Next, Commissioner, I have a couple empowering Marion updates for you, starting with MSTU assessment.
Mr. Hubbock.
Good morning, Commissioners. Sean Hubbock, MSTU Assessment Director, and I'm here today just to give you some brief updates on our portions of the Empowering Marion for Success. We had two items in the CS32 as well as CS33, our updating systems. We've been working with IT at our MSTU locations. They've been updating the wiring inside of our buildings. The wiring is outdated, so that's helping us have good technological resources, as well as our phones. That also assists us with our websites that we have currently, also on our Facebook at all of our 3 MSTUs, as well as our regular scheduled meetings under this item with our managers as it relates to our safety programs. We have just recently won our second safety quarterly award, and our staff is very proud of that. Secondly, is just bringing our larger MSTUs up to current standards. We've are getting close to finalizing our policies and procedures to ensure that they're consistent between all of the 3 MSTU locations. We're also looking at our rental rates to make sure they're consistent across the board for the type of similar facilities. And then constantly, we're just the MSTU locations, communities, centers are just communicating on a regular basis to implement new programs for both our younger generation and our aging members.
I'll start with the board. Any comments or questions?
No, I mean, I just appreciate the work that MSTU continues to do to make
fill in all the gaps, right? I mean, it's and deliver services that people in unincorporated Marion County, maybe don't have a homeowners association or don't have the right pieces to put it together, and you guys step in and do a great job. And at the end of the day, I know it's, as anything new is, it's painful sometimes in certain areas, but at the end of it, we get back and people see the work that gets done and the value that's added to their homes, and they end up really appreciating the work that you guys do, and you do it in a very fair and transparent way. So I know some of those community meetings can be tough sometimes, Sean, because people don't know exactly what it's going to look like at the end, but we're getting better and better at painting them a picture of how it's going to work. And so as we do that, I appreciate your time and service to the people of Marion County.
Thank you very much.
Seeing how these are ongoing, continuing to grow and get better, have you looked at possibly anything to increase maybe some proactive outreach in some areas?
Yes, we are, and very specifically over in our Rainbow Lakes Estates area. Okay. They're kind of the conception of having programs actively and regularly like we do in Marion Oaks and in Silver Spring Shores. And it's growing, it's slow, but just as far as having our youth centers opened on the weekends or in the evenings, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, is really, we're getting some good teenagers, places that they can stay in a safe way.
Great. Very good. I'm thinking more about some interior roadways in some communities.
Yes, as part of
assessment program.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, we are getting close to bringing back to y'all our draft proposed policies that would implement based on the pavement conditioning indexing.
Okay.
Developments or subdivisions that we could address in different fashions other than just our standard petition process.
Okay, great. Do we have a timeline on that?
We are shooting for...
It's on my desk. I'm reviewing it. It's probably would be about a month more.
Okay, that's fine. I'm not trying to push. I'm just trying to...
We're in a final draft
get an
form.
idea. Okay, great.
Yes.
Thank you. Well, I appreciate the work that's been done on that. And
some more questions.
okay, very good. Mr. Boyonis will make sure it's in its final final stages before it gets to us. I'm just anxious to see it, I guess. So.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. Well, thank you, Mr. Hubbock. Do you have anything else to add?
That would be it for today. Thank you
All right.
very much.
Well, please take back these accolades to your team. We
Definitely.
appreciate what is done. How many of these do you manage?
Well, overall, I have about 46 budgets,
Exactly.
which includes street lighting and mowing. But the major, larger MSTUs, obviously, we have the three: Silver Spring Shores, Marion Oaks, Rainbow Lakes Estates, and then we have another community, Hills of Ocala, recreation, and then obviously a whole bunch of other general service developments that we help manage and take care of their roads and landscaping, gated entries, street lighting, items like that.
Well, again, great job, and thank you. Looking forward to a new fiscal year coming forward.
Thank you very much.
Yes, sir.
Loretta is next.
Good morning again, Ms. Schaefer.
Good morning, and thank you, Monier, and good morning, Commissioners. Loretta Schaefer, for the record, Tourism Director. Our team was tasked to complete 3 goals for supporting the county services as it relates to the Empowering Marion County for Success plan. Additionally, we had 1 focus on a financial challenges and opportunities item. The first task was to focus on building market share in key niche audiences to include outdoor adventure, equestrian, youth and adult amateur sports, small group meetings, and military markets. The Tourist Development Department developed a 5-year strategic plan that coincides with the new fiscal year to further underscore the Empowering Marion County for Success plan and to further create a continued blueprint to build on market share in those key niche audiences. For this second task, the development of the Gateway signage, the Board of County Commissioners approved to accept the Gateway signage project on September 18th of 2018. Gateway features are required to be permitted through the Florida Department of Transportation through a process known as Community Aesthetic Feature. Kimley Horn, as we heard today, is now working on the final phase submission and the I-75 County Line Marker Community Aesthetic feature concurrently. For the third task, the development of an innovative group travel technological platform, the Tourist Development Department launched a new website in early 2019 that has several innovative features, one of which is predictive search. In addition to the launch of the website, staff is working with a technological company to develop a customer-facing savings pass, which reimagines the discount coupon booklet concept as a next-generation mobile-exclusive savings program. Lastly, for the financial challenges and opportunities section, the feasibility analysis for the Convention Center multi-purpose facility was accepted by the Board of County Commissioners on May 1st, 2018. As always, Commissioners, I genuinely thank you for your time and the continued support you provide to my team and I as we work to further advance the tourism economic engine for Marion County. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Schaefer. Let me bring it to the board, or Mr. Boyanis, do you have anything else to add?
One thing I would like to add, we had a meeting with the CEP and Horse Farms Forever and TDC, and we are talking about, it has been mentioned before, we are talking about a horse farm tour in Marion County to develop an application that can be used by the TDC and the CEP when bring people and visitors to Marion County, assist them in a tour throughout Marion County, what farms they can look at. So that's something that 3 agencies will be working on together and bring forward to the board. And also, what were the other items?
The multi-purpose facility, the Convention Center, as well as the niche audiences with the technological bandwagon.
So, mostly the app will be, I'm hoping we will be bringing forward to the board in the near future.
Very good. Well, I hear that even with visitors who visit Marion County, where can I go see a horse? If they're not at my house looking. So, yes, I think this is wonderful as the horse capital of the world that we would have something available and this interactive opportunity for them to go and tour on their own with directions as well. I think that's really exciting.
And also one more thing, the TDC is undertaking the branding initiative again. And we are looking at our brand and hopefully get the whole community involved and be able to develop a brand that everybody can support and everybody will start using and be on board. That's what's going to represent Marion County with all its municipalities and our community.
I love that. Will we see this updated then with the plan to add that as a task somewhere in there?
We will with... Yes, ma'am.
Yes,
Okay.
ma'am. It's inclusive in the 5-year VCB plan, but we certainly can add that as well into the Empowering Marion.
Maybe just give us just a little bit more so it's a little bit more top of mind when we look at it.
Absolutely, happy to.
Okay. Yes, Commissioner Moore?
Just Loretta, that just thought hit me because we got the History Trail app, type thing, but doing our culinary, plus I've had people that do bird watching with the Audubon Society. If we could incorporate all the different apps, so when you're at a location, you can say, okay, this horse farm's here, but here's the things right around it. So we can, you're ready for lunch, you're out on the west side, and that one that's on 100th Avenue and 40, Crossroads Country Kitchen, or whatever, and you know what the culinary, things are there. So we could maybe tie them all in together on that app. So that way, if one likes horses, one likes history, one likes restaurants, it's all there, I don't know.
No, it's actually the bandwagon, the savings pass will allow for us to start with those discounted and then gravitate into whether that be an equestrian pass, whether that be an outdoor playground pass, whether that be a culinary. So there's definitely opportunities. We work especially like in year 2, 3 and get it throttled up. So no, it's certainly not a pie in the sky idea.
No, but I think it's good, but where we can tie in everything.
Yeah, that's what she's looking at.
Yeah, absolutely.
Sounds so good.
Yes, sir.
Great.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Thank you. We appreciate your leadership.
Likewise. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Next, Commissioner, is item 9B, requesting for release of lien on a code enforcement case. And Sam Martzoff can present this item.
Thank you.
Good morning, Sam Martzoff, Marion County Growth Services Director. This request for a release of lien is for an abatement lien that was recorded back in 2004. It was for an unsafe structure and junk and litter. The county cleaned it up, and then 10 years later, and then filed that lien in November of 2004. 10 years later, in December of 2014, the property was sold on tax deed to a Realty Inc. company, who later sold it to a Terrence and Candy Nooner. And this was in 2017. The Nooners purchased it for $17,500. They indicated they did not do a title search until after they purchased the property. They are requesting the lien. We've given you some figures at the bottom that would, since the bulk of that lien is the 12% interest, it could look at that interest as 4% as a potential reduction, but the motion is to deny the request. This again did not go to the Code Enforcement Board because it's an abatement lien, which comes to you guys.
So, Mr. Martzoff, just so that I'm clear, taking the interest from 12% to 4% would make the total amount due $4,329.36?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Can I ask a question?
Yes, absolutely.
So when it was sold to the real estate company?
The real estate company bought it
Right.
and then sold it.
And then clear the lien, though?
No.
And I don't know how they get away with not disclosing that there's a lien on the property.
It's as is. I've been on some of the sites that do those auctions. They disclose that you're responsible to do the search, not they are. And
It must be
buyer
as
beware.
is.
It is as is. But they do have a legal disclosure on those sites.
But as a real estate company,
They should have. Yes, being a realty, they should have. You're correct. But I know the other ones that just flip them. They buy the tax deeds and then they flip them to buyer beware.
I think I'm going to start doing seminars on this. Anyway.
I think there's a need for
I think there's
education.
definitely a need to educate the public.
Yes.
I believe the Nooners are here.
Mr. and Ms. Nooner, if you'd like to come forward. When you get to the podium, if you'll just give your name and address for the record, please.
What's that?
We do suits, quiet title, and buy these things. And we do a whole bunch.
Good morning.
A couple thousand more.
Well, hello.
Good morning.
I'm glad we can finally get with somebody to find out what we can do.
Very good.
Um,
Mr. Nooner, if you'll just give your name and address for the clerk's benefit.
okay. My name is Terrence Howard Nooner. My address is 16600 Southeast 134th Terrace in Weirsdale, Florida, 32195.
Thank you, Mr. Nooner. So it appears that you've bought this property without doing any sort of a title search to see that there was a lien on the property.
Yes, we actually bought it by watching television at an auction on TV, and we bought it while we were still residing in Kentucky.
Okay.
You know, and it's the first time I've ever had a chance to buy something. I have a child that lives here in Florida that has a mental impairment from the age of 16. When my children's mother passed, I saw the need to be more in their lives. And that one there, she just had her sister to help her. So that my other daughter could have a life. My wife and I put together what we had and took our nest egg to be here to where I could be in their lives, part of their lives, maybe make a difference to them, you know, and it's where I'm at, you know. I've got Social Security, thankfully, but that's what I have to live on for me and my wife.
Okay, so Commissioner Bryant, you have some comments?
I just have a couple questions for
Please.
Sam.
Mhm.
So, Sam, hard costs,
$2,500 and $356.51.
Correct.
all right. So, Mr. Nooner, we can't completely release the entire lien. We have actual hard money, taxpayer dollars that were spent to clean that property up back when, in 2000, is that correct, Sam?
2004.
2004. So, and I'm sorry, I was pulling up your parcel, that's why I don't have your information in front of me right now. What I would be willing to do would be to reduce it to the hard cost
2856,
only,
51.
the 2856.51, because we do need to recoup that money, because we actually did spend that money in order to clean your property up. So I'll make a motion to reduce it to the hard cost.
I've got a motion by Commissioner Bryant with a second by Commissioner Moore to reduce the lien on the parcel for the hard cost totaling $2,856.51. I'll ask the board if there is any additional conversation. If not, I'll call the vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? That motion carries unanimously. So, Mr. and Mrs. Nooner, we have reduced the amount from $7,329.61 to $2,856.51, and that is to pay back the citizens of Marion County the money that they spent to make this property safe. So thank you for choosing Marion County as your new residents, and we hope that you'll be very happy here and you and your family will enjoy many special times on this property. Thank you. Yes.
Madam
So-
Chair,
yes.
I'd also like to ask, Mr. Minter, this doesn't have anything to do with your case, you're good.
Oh,
Thank you. We need to reach out to the Board of Realtors. We need to know about companies that are holding these auctions. We need to send them a letter that states that they have to disclose this to people when they're doing these auctions.
It's in very fine print at the bottom of their website.
I understand it's at very fine print, but I want to know legally what we can do to force these companies that are selling these properties
disclose.
to people to disclose that there is a lien, because Mr. and Mrs. Nooner are sitting in Kentucky, they're on TV, this auction comes across for this great deal on this piece of property, but nobody's disclosing to them that there is a lien on this property. So I want to know if and what we can do to stop this form of business practice, because in my opinion, it's fraud for the people
Right.
who are doing it.
We'll check into it.
Thank you.
Report back to you. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Okay.
Next, 9C Commissioners, I would like to give you an update on the public safety communication discussion. And with that, with your permission, I would like to add
Yes.
the letter we received from the city of Ocala into the record, please. So what you have as part of this agenda item now, we have the new letter we received from the city of Ocala requesting that the interlocal agreement be terminated. In addition to that, we have a letter we received on September 24th from the sheriff, also requesting the same thing, the interlocal agreement that we have in place today to be terminated. After we had the study presented to us, and the recommendation from the consultant was to stay with the status quo and work all those issues out to be able to move forward and have a continuous, successful 911 communication center. That's not the case at this time, based on the two partners who are requesting to get out of the agreement. I have not been able to put a meeting together with all representatives from the different stakeholders as part of this function. My information is that the city council, they are holding a workshop on October 8th, and they requested their police chief and their fire chief to come back with a recommendation to them. Knowing that and learning that from our end, from the county, and we had a conversation with the sheriff. I think it was a very good conversation. As much as he is not happy with the overall arrangement, I think he was willing to continue to be part of the PSC, but he wants some authority and management responsibility over the dispatch unit, the unit that does the dispatching for law enforcement. That was the conversation we had with him, and with Chairman Stone was in the meeting too, and Chief Banta. Since then, Chief Banta has been having conversation with the sheriff to see if we can work out the details. That is not complete yet. In addition to that, Chief Banta has been meeting with all the chiefs from the different municipalities that they will have to work with each other, rely on each other to be able to have a successful 911 communication. I think where we are today, I would recommend to the board that we need to hold a public workshop for the Board of County Commissioners and the sheriff to sit down and have that discussion and get direction. Where do we want to, what would be the next step? Where do we want to go from here? I have 3 dates for you if you wanted to hold a workshop. And those dates would be October 21st at 2 p.m., October 22nd at 2 p.m., or October 29 at 10 a.m. And those dates have been confirmed with Naja that you all will be available.
I am not available the 22nd nor the 23rd.
Okay, so.
The
What was your
21st.
October 21st?
21st.
I said 21st.
At 2 p.m. and the 29th
At
at
10
10 a.m.
All right, so I'm getting my eyes dilated at 9:30 on the 21st.
Yeah, so that.
Not good, you'd be
that
blurry.
You don't want to
probably-
come to a workshop.
Yeah. So, looking at the
I'll just be in here in
29th,
sunglasses.
About the 29th.
29th, we're good. We have a TPO meeting that day at 4.
we do. So that would be in the morning. We'd meet with the sheriff to talk about what this could look like with his, excuse me, management of the dispatch unit only. It would be I'll save that. So let's decide on the date. Will that work with everybody? 10/29?
That's fine.
Yeah, I mean, so in the sheriff's letter, I mean, he's not what's his time frame?
Well, the time frame
We're
is.
already funded for this year.
Exactly.
I mean, we've got
It'd be-
another year.
exactly.
Do
He's
we
just-
really need to push scheduling this right now when you have I understand the city has sent us this letter, but they still haven't held their workshop yet.
That's correct.
Things could change.
This will be on the 8th.
Well, I'm thinking by the 29th, we will know where the city is at. True.
Yeah.
Well,
And whichever direction we want to go into, we need the time to make sure we have a very good, solid, either memorandum of understanding or agreement, even if we continue to have two PSAPs, the point of where the calls are coming in. We still, I think eventually, we're going to have to sit down with the city and work out that relationship and organize it. Because those two PSAPs, they're going to depend on each other. They're going to be back up to each other. And those units out in the field, the first responders, I mean, they depend on each other every day with everything they do. So that relationship needs to be amicable. It needs to be, we all need to be on the same page what we
Yes.
are doing.
we certainly do. It's just very disappointing that folks couldn't just put the brakes on and go with the consultant's recommendation, to just take a step back and take a breath.
The conversation that we had with the sheriff was much more positive than what this letter seems to indicate. Not having had an opportunity to talk with the city, I agree with you, Commissioner Bryant.
I know that there have been a lot of changes that have been made in the course of the last 6 months over at our communications center. And I mean, the reports that we're getting, the numbers are reflecting the fine job that everyone over there who's working in that communications center is doing. So this is just, it's a little disappointing.
Based on what we see with the city, we could look that they would actually be pulling out within a 6-month frame. So, again, to Mr. Boyona's point, we really want to make sure that we have an amicable working relationship. It's like family. There have been issues. We need to heal them. We need to move forward. I know, Commissioner Bryant, you've spent many hours helping put this together. It's unfortunate that we're here today, but for the sake of all parties, I think we need to at least try to look at what is it going to look like on our end, and by then we should know something. And perhaps that meeting on the 29th may include the city at that point in time. We certainly can invite them and all other stakeholders.
I think all the stakeholders should be invited. And
Yeah, at some point, we've all got to sit down together and figure
Right.
this out.
I agree.
So after the 29th.
Yes, Commissioner.
29th's fine with me.
Okay.
But in the city's letter, and I guess we can go back to the sheriff's letter, but it quotes, repeated. What repeated failure are they talking about exactly? Do you know?
Commissioner, all the different complaints that we have been dealing with, and I can attest and tell you, we have had complaints from both sides. You all know that we have 2 PSAPs today. And calls in the city, they go to OPD. Calls in the county, they go to the county PSC. And whenever they are busy, we answer for each other. And I have heard complaints from both sides. We have tried very hard to look at the data and to try to work out those concerns and those issues. Apparently, they have not been worked out to their satisfaction. That's all what I can say.
Well, I know that our staff has done everything that they can to try to address any issues that have come up. And, so.
The biggest concern, not concern, the biggest problem I see, when you have a partnership, there need to be a
Communication.
buy-in from everybody.
Yeah.
If there is no buy-in, the partnership is destined to fail.
Right, and the city's not.
And if there is a buy-in and there are issues, we will work on them all together and fix them.
Well, I just don't understand. I thought that. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe the chief can testify to this. But I thought I know that we've had problems, right? I get that we've had some issues and we had some leadership turnover. Yeah. Certainly, them going to a different leadership model, as the report said, is going to lead to failures, possibly on their side and complications. I know that we fund a lot of things out of 911 that will just increase the where we have to put that money. So it's going to be that money the taxpayers put into 911 is going to become less effective if we continue to fund it the way we do and share. Or we're just going to have to make the decision to keep that money more into people that are willing to be in a working relationship. And so I guess that'll be part of the workshop discussion. But I find it hard to believe that the standards for emergency dispatch communication that we are certified and accredited to at a higher level than the city of Ocala now is an issue. And that we're not meeting. Has there been some notification that we're not meeting higher standards than the city of Ocala is meeting today?
Good morning, Commissioner. James Bana, Fire Chief. So I think Commissioner Bryant pointed out that over the last nearly 7 months, we've made tremendous improvements to all the things that we do, from call taking to abandonment rates to our processing times. Everything has improved dramatically. Unfortunately, there appears to be maybe still a lack of understanding on some of the processes on how things work when you call 911. The last city council meeting I was at, they still made reference to city council members calling 911 and not being answered appropriately and things like that. And we've tried to explain, when those phone calls occurred, those happened within city limits and OPD picked up those calls. But we seem to keep rehashing those same types of complaints. And I think at the end of the day, Monir had pointed out that for a partnership to work, everybody has to want to be in it. And I'm just not sure we're there with all the stakeholders.
And I fully agree. I just wanted to make the statement that I don't know, we're meeting the standards for emergency communication based on our accreditation, right? We are an accredited call center, to the best of my knowledge, right?
Yes, sir. Craig Damian, Division Chief, Marion County Fire Rescue and Public Safety Communications. Yes, we are accredited, so we do meet those standards, and the consultant's report indicated that we meet or exceed industry standards.
Industry standards, right? That's what I just wanted to say.
And actually, 2 days ago, we submitted our application for the emergency police dispatching accreditation. So that application's been submitted, and hopefully here in about a month, we'll have that third accreditation from the International Academy of Emergency Dispatching.
And that is one of the issues that we think as we put together a memorandum of understanding and working, should we continue with two PSAPs, is that, you know, they get accredited as well, because we believe that that would enhance the, the call taking as well, the quality of calls and how these calls are responded to as well. And perhaps the city will then understand it better. And I'm talking about the city council that doesn't seem to understand what they are complaining about is their own people in many cases.
My point was just the fact that I find it, I don't want our team, I mean, listen, we've had issues, but we've had relatively smaller issues. At the end of the day, we've had some communication disparities, and again, that's just working better as a team across, you know, jurisdictional lines. But our people every day are meeting the standards and achieving them and surpassing the accreditation standard. At the same time, I don't know how you call us out on that when the city of Ocala is not accredited and doesn't have any standard to be upheld to. So how do they say this in this? I find this letter to be disturbing, and maybe we should have our team draft some informational letter about these particular accusations that I find
Well,
be out of line.
quite honestly, that's where I think the joint workshop would have come in very.
I agree with you, but they don't want to have it.
They don't want to
It would have been.
participate.
I think that maybe, Madam Chair,
Why don't you call
maybe
for the
you could reach
workshop?
out to the president, city council president, and see if we could possibly hold that joint workshop, because I think there are some educational opportunities, probably for all of us.
Right.
And I think that would be a better route when trying to make these decisions. That would be a better route to go, to have everybody come to the table together in a joint workshop.
We will certainly attempt to do that.
I would like to point out, though, that the consultants did say that both comm centers are very highly functional comm centers. Okay, and it's really the management piece of bringing it all together and working together and the recommendations for moving forward. So I've also explained to Chief Alexander that if his desire is to fall underneath the umbrella of the city of Ocala, we will support that in that transition in, you know, in any manner that we can.
And that's the best thing to do unless we choose to exercise one comm center. And, you know, that would be an option for us, but I don't know that that's really what we need to start thinking about at this point.
You know, the one thing I would say about that, at the end of the day, the 911 system and the call taken, it falls on your shoulders. Whether it is successful or it's a failure, it falls on your shoulders. But where we are today, I think with the relationship that we have, I would recommend if we want to have two PSAPs, that's probably the best thing we can do today. And organize and structure the relationship. And try to get everybody with buy-in into that system. And give every agency a piece of the authority and the control, so they feel they are owners in the system.
Well, there should be ownership from every
There should be.
agency.
Absolutely.
There absolutely should be, and it should be a partnership, and it shouldn't be us versus them. That was, you know, one of the biggest takeaways. We should all be working together.
I agree.
Unfortunately, I will say I think we failed in making that happen as the lead agency responsibility. So now we are in the process of having to build trust with our partners.
And I believe, Commissioner, the agreement that we have in place today, it can be improved so much, and you can expand on it and be able to accomplish what you all are saying.
Right. You have a board that's more than willing and able to do what's necessary to make sure. I mean, at the end of the day, who's running it doesn't matter.
It should not
At the end of
matter.
the day, what matters is that it's performing and it's functioning at its highest and its best. That's what matters. And that when our citizens pick up the phone and call 911, that those calls are answered efficiently and that help is dispatched quickly and efficiently. That is all that matters.
That's correct. We agree.
But at the end of the day, and I agree with you, but at the end of the day, it's the board's
ultimate
our issue.
responsibility.
It's our authority, whether we delegate it or don't, right? I mean, it comes down to the commission's and the county's responsibility to make it better, and to make sure that we serve the citizens of Marion County, no matter what jurisdiction they live in. It doesn't matter. The call should be done well. And the only thing that's going to happen here is if we allow a whole bunch of division, is for the cost to go through the roof.
Aye.
Right.
And so whether it's and honestly, whether it's with our sheriff or with the Ocala or the PD or OFD or anybody else, we can't let those costs get out of control, because they will. I mean, when you start putting sworn people, a ton of them in these operations, it's going to escalate the cost structure significantly. That's why regionalization came into play in the first place. And so we have to be careful with that, and those 911 monies don't have to be allocated the way they are today.
For clarity's sake, that was not the intent of how the sheriff intended to do that.
I just came across in the letter.
Yeah, but he would not be putting sworn people in.
That's what he told us.
That is exactly what he said in the meeting.
And keep in mind, Commissioner, I wanted to make sure one thing is very clear. The dispatching activity of the PSC, it's by agreement. It's not under the authority of the BCC.
Right, it's just the actual initial call
The 911
taking.
call taken. That is what's spoken to in the statute.
Right.
But dispatching, each agency can have its own dispatching unit unless we agree to change it.
How are they going to, I mean, I agree with you, Munir, but how are they going to do that if we're taking the call? And how does that exactly work if they're going to, I mean, just say everyone had their own.
The calls
You
will
just
come
have,
in and
we just have call takers and they get
Exactly.
sent to the appropriate agency for dispatch.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And it will help if we are all on the same system. I mean, it's
Yes.
seamless.
And that's the other thing too, where I really think
We have to buy
that-
the system for them?
I mean, we do have,
I mean, I'm just asking.
None of this has been determined.
yeah.
Yeah, so we're
why we're
asking
gonna have a
questions
workshop.
that.
Well, we can have a workshop. That's
Yeah.
a better place.
Commissioner
to ask it.
Bryant?
So, Madam Chair, and I think also that's where we're really losing a really great opportunity right now, that joint workshop, is to talk about our technology, because we do have our sales tax initiative that we are talking about. This would be a public safety, this would be one of the
Opportunity.
projects that would be eligible for that sales tax funding, because in order to put everybody on the same software would be a tremendous cost. But this is the type of thing that the money should be going toward, because this improves public safety. So I just feel like we really need to reiterate to our partners that a joint workshop would be the best place for us to be able to talk about some of these issues. And even if everybody ends up removing themselves from the dispatch part of it, when it comes to the call taking part of it, having the proper software is very, very important. And we have an opportunity to improve.
I'll reach out. The city council president has not been in, but we'll see if she's returned at this point. Or
About-
I'll go to the vice.
Yeah, if you can't reach her.
Yeah.
So would you want it to at least set the date for our workshop? And if we can get a joint, will be great. Or
Absolutely.
you want to wait? I mean,
I'd like
I'm
to-
giving you an
Let the chair
update.
negotiate that
You
with
give
the
me
Yes,
directions.
check to see if any of the dates, I mean, let's check to see if we can schedule that joint workshop. And if we can get that joint workshop scheduled and we have to look at other dates, do that.
Okay.
If that doesn't happen, then I would say the 29th, Madam
They're,
Chair.
they're meeting on the 8th.
Yeah, so,
Yeah. So I would say we should hold this 29th timeline.
Okay.
If they choose not to, we still need to have our meeting.
Right.
With
But
the
if-
sheriff.
but I would like to give the county administrator, you and staff, the flexibility to change that
course.
date if
If
they.
it doesn't work for them.
Right.
If that date's not good for
Right.
them.
But if we could all hold this time, just since
Just
we've,
I get
yeah,
it.
just as a placeholder.
Do you have a time?
Yes, 10 a.m. on October the 29th. Thank you, Chief Damian, and thank you, Chief Banta.
That's all that I have, Commissioner. Thank you.
That's going to take us to committee items.
I will move 10A and 10B as Mr. Adams was the only applicant that we had, and so obviously he's going to be the one to fill that position.
Second.
Got a motion by Commissioner Bryant, as second by Commissioner Zalek, to approve 10A and 10B with Mr. Russ Adams taking the Tourism Development Council for a full collector member term. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? That motion carries for both of those items unanimously.
I'll move 11A.
Second.
Just looking at 11A. We have,
At the 14th.
yeah, so we've got the public hearing to advertise for an amendment to the Land Development Code. The first being 11/5, November 5th at 10 a.m. Second is Thursday, the 14th at 5:30. And Commissioner Zalek, that's an issue for you?
Yeah, the 14th.
Do you have an alternative you'd like to propose?
I'm good most of the other time. I would rather just, can we just put it, we're gonna do the one on the 5th of November. Can we put the other one on the meeting, the first meeting in December? On the 3rd?
But we have to do it in the evening.
Has to be
It
an
has to be an
evening.
evening meeting, remember?
I mean, we could do it after zoning. That's
Do we
fine,
have
too.
another one where we're here?
So you're talking about December the 17th
No,
in the evening?
No,
That's what I heard.
sorry, the 19th.
Okay.
Well,
November
the 19th we have
19th.
zoning, right? So,
Well, if you want to do it after zoning,
We could do it after zone.
let me just ask, timeline, is that permissible?
We could recess if we come to the part in our zoning hearing where we are not finished. We can recess zoning hearing and go into that public hearing if that timeline works.
That
Which-
would be November
Which
the
date you looking at, the
19th.
17th?
No,
November
the
19th.
19th,
Or November 19th?
which just extends it 5 days. So it doesn't move it up, so we should,
We should be good.
okay.
Right, Sam? You can't get up.
Don't sound so enthused.
I've heard that November zoning is going to be a very full one.
We have FAC 11/20th.
Okay, so
Is that when we leave in 11/20?
how about the,
are you guys gonna be here on the 26th?
Of November?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
You have a TPO meeting.
I'm going to be here on the 26th.
I'll be here.
November 26th?
I actually,
You're gonna be Thanksgiving?
at 5:30, I should be good by 5:30.
I mean, the TPO meeting's at 4. We should be done by 5:30. We can do this at 5:30 or 6 or whatever.
Okay.
Okay, so 11/26 at 5:30 for the second public hearing.
That works for my calendar.
It was.
So work for.
We just want to make sure we can work for your calendar.
Hey, listen, we can do any suggestion you have, Commissioner. I don't care.
I'm good
I'm
on
just
the
trying to-
20, I'm good on the 26th.
We could do it on Thanksgiving Day. That's the
Okay.
28th.
So, Commissioner Bryant, what your motion is to approve the public hearing for 11/5 at 10 a.m. and the second public hearing.
For the 11/26 at 5:30 PM.
Do I have a second?
Second.
With a second by Commissioner Moore. All in favor?
Aye.
That motion carries unanimously. Okay, very good. Thank you. That's going to take us to general public comment, and I do have some people who have signed up. Do we have Pat Lunarelli? Lunarelli, please correct me. Lunardelli. Miss Lunardelli, if you'll just please give your, again, your name and address for the clerk's benefit.
Pat Lunardelli, 10470 Southeast 41st Terrace in Bellevue.
Thank you.
Good morning.
Okay. Good morning.
It's almost noontime, actually, right? It's been a while since I've come and spoken in front of you, but once again, I would like to quote some of the stats from the public records from Marion County Animal Services. These are not my opinions. And just a little background, I also provided in the packet that is going around my January conversation that I spoke of. So I'm going to refer to a lot of those issues.
You have 2 minutes. I just
Signed
want
up for 5.
I just want to verify your time, if you'll watch
I
the
signed
live.
up for 5.
Excuse me.
I'm sorry.
Thank you.
So anyways, as I stated back in January meeting, the hours of the operation of the Marion County Shelter, on Sundays, they only have a skeleton crew there until noon. They return it Monday at 7 a.m. That's 19 hours of no staff there. This means no food, water, medical care for the animals, regardless if the medications are prescribed every 12 hours, babies who need to be fed every 4 hours, or sick animals in need of medical care. Now all the volunteers at the shelter are banned from stray hold and the feral cat rooms. However, the public is allowed to tour these areas with staff members when doing lost cat tours. Why are volunteers forbidden in these areas? So I'd like to discuss now the numbers from the Maddie's Fund report, known as a live release. Why isn't the county-run shelter intake and live release reports available on their public website for all to see? So in order to get these reports, you have to actually call someone or email, and they personally send them to you every month.
They're also a part of our county commission meeting.
But for the public, they don't have access to these unless you call. So I just want to give just a little bit of information when you look at these live report rates, because I know the live report rates are really, everybody's really interested in that live release number. However, I want you to look down at you. Those are animals that died or lost in the shelter. They do not, they are not included in the live release rate. So let's, for instance, in March, they had 17 animals die in the shelter. If those numbers were actually included, or if they were humanely euthanized because they were sick and died, instead of their 90.7% release rate, they would have been at 86. I can go through many months. There is a comment at the top stating that that live release rate does not include animals that die in the kennels. 16 animals 1 month, 17, 23, 27. What qualifying agency comes in and oversees and does routine inspections of our local county shelters to ensure that there is quality of care, policies being adhered to, adequate staffing and training? Who makes that decision of which animal lives or dies? There's a big difference between giving these animals a chance to survive versus humanely euthanizing them when they are slowly dying. Many of these cats and kittens that are dying in the shelters have horrible upper respiratories. They can't breathe, which means they can't eat. So not only are they gasping for air, but they're also starving to death. So these numbers, if they were humanely euthanized, would obviously affect their live release rate. But why are they allowed to suffer?
So, Ms. Lunardelli, this is public comment. This is not public conversation.
Okay.
I'll ask Mr. Sweet to get with you and address your concerns. Thank you. Next, we have Brennan Rooney on general policy. Is Mr. Rooney available in the audience? If not, I will then open it up for general public comment. If you have any requests or comments for the board, I invite you forward now.
Thank you, Doug.
Thank you. Thank you.
Okay, 2 minutes. Doug Shear, 2301 Southeast 85th Street, Ocala, Florida. I just feel like Commissioner Bryant said, you know, these websites are misleading and kind of fraud. I think sometimes we encourage fraud when we let the zoning things go forward so fast and look at Mr. Bliss, off of 95th Street, you okayed a special use permit for wine and alcohol. This project, a bunch of people have looked at. He's put in another well last week, right where the snack bar will go. By law, he has to have water and sewer before he can do this project. I looked at it. It's over $1 million to bring water and sewer from Bellevue to this piece of property. This is financially, he's going to sucker someone else into buying it from him because it looks good on paper. But you make the mistake, and even if you can get the $1 million and could make it work financially, I don't think there's enough right-of-way, because we looked at making a paved trail along 95th Street, and there wasn't enough room. I don't think there's enough room to bring water and sewer up next to up 95th Street to get to him. If you want to do it like you did to Cobblestone North, they brought water and sewer up the middle of 100th Street. They had to tear up the street, and the manhole covers are in the middle of the street and everything. Are we going to do that to 95th? That's been done, and school buses use and everything. This project, financially, and I don't even think practically, could happen. And yet we keep encouraging it there. I don't think my 2 minutes included handing out papers, but that's where I'm at.
Thank you, Mr. Chair.
I don't see this. I think it's way out of line.
Thank you. Maybe start it after they give their name and address. Okay, thank you.
Henry Munoz, 495 Marion Oaks Boulevard. Getting to that question that the Commissioner Brian brought up, I think if you, I hate saying this, pass an ordinance.
What question was that?
That's about the liens.
Okay.
And I hate saying pass an ordinance, where the first buyer after a lien must pay the lien before resale. In other words, if you're buying a lien property and you're the first buyer, you have to take care of that lien before you're able to resale it. And I think that would stop a lot of this. Especially if you can't get the original owner who caused the problem to pay for it. That might be the only solution. And on the question of the signage on the interstate, I hope we're talking about a triangular obelisk at least, so when the storms come, it doesn't get knocked down. And you know, this will afford to make it much more visible instead of just a flat little thing. A triangular obelisk, which will hold up better to the storms. Okay.
Thank you, Mr. Munoz. And Mr. Mentor is going to check to see what can we do legally. So I'm sure we're going to hear a lot more about that. Mm-hmm. So I hope we'll see you whenever that comes back up again.
Oh, definitely.
Yes, sir. Do we have anyone else in the audience? Mr. Adams.
Good morning, Russ Adams, 1946 Clatterbridge Road in Ocala, Florida. I just wanted to thank you all for reappointing me to the TDC. I had no idea what the full agenda was. I did not realize I was almost at the end of it. But I'm glad I was here for the entire meeting. And I've sort of been here for the whole life of the CVB and the TDC, because I was very involved working with Joe Salyers and a group of people to actually get the initial tourism tax passed. I was with Clear Channel at the time. And I've been involved with this from the beginning, from getting the tax passed, from being on the marketing committee, over to the TDC. Currently, I'm the sitting chair. And to see all the different things that came up today, that started with the cooperation between the TDC and the CVB and Parks and Rec, and how strong that relationship is, and that we're going in almost 50-50 with right at $90,000, if my memory serves me. And we were talking of hundreds of thousands of dollars of county impact that didn't exist when we started this initially. And then you watch and see the presentation that we had on gateway signage. which is sort of my personal baby that I've been involved in, as well as the gateway signage. Well, the gateway and the entrance signage that we're doing, I've been very involved in. Love it. Can't wait to see that happen. Very proud to show up to all my billboard friends that I'll be hanging out with this weekend and showing them pictures of what we're doing to clean up I-75, which I think is great. But it's really cool to sit here and watch all this and see it develop from what it was to what it is, and that y'all have got the faith in me to continue helping direct the TDC. Thank you very much. Have a great day.
Mr. Adams, we do thank you so much for your many years of public service to this community, at your goodwill. You don't get paid for what you do on any of these committees that you serve on, and so we thank you so much for what you've done, and you will definitely have left your mark and a legacy on Marion County in the years to come, so thank you.
Thank you.
Yes, sir. Do we have anyone else in the audience who would like to come forward? Seeing no one else, we'll close public comment. And that will take us to commissioner comments. Commissioner Bryant?
I just have one thing. I'd like to wish my daughter Christy a happy birthday today.
Aww. Happy birthday, Christy. Commissioner Zalek?
I just thought it was great. I mean, I think Monier, we appreciate the leadership in bringing the Employee Academy to fruition through the Empowering Marion County Plan. It's been great just to watch the leadership, all of those things come into play, us creating better pipelines, showing people different opportunities. We do spend a lot of money investing in people and training them for certain jobs, but then sometimes their abilities outgrow their current position. And being able to see other opportunities across the entire county gives us the chance to keep and retain for a lifelong, hopefully, career under great leaders. And so I appreciate just seeing that develop, continuing to see how our people are getting better and better, that they're willing to take risks, to fail quickly, to own their mistakes, just like everybody has to in life, and get back up and keep trying to deliver the very best customer service they can for the people of Marion County. It's been a great journey over the last few years, and so just glad to see that come and see people inspired, because the truth is that people matter so much more than anything else. And when you get the chance to do life together and you make other associations across different departments and you build those bridges, Marion County gets stronger as a team, and they're not seen in these quote unquote, old school government silos where my department does this and this is that. People start to see that, no, actually we are one big team serving our friends and family in Marion County. And so I think that's pretty cool.
Indeed. Commissioner Moore?
Well, I'd like to thank all Marion County employees for what you do day in, day out, because the reason why Marion County is the best county and the best state and the best country in the world is our employees. And, they are our greatest resource, so thank you to each of you for coming in each day and serving the people of Marion County. Also, thank you to our 911 communicators, to our first responders, our fire rescue, to our law enforcement. They keep us safe, so that way when 911 does dispatch that call, we have somebody show up that knows what they're doing and does a great job at it. And we have people every day that show up, and they're so dedicated to their jobs, and they lay their lives on the line to keep us safe, and it's so appreciated. So thank you to everybody, and have a blessed day.
Thank you, Commissioner Moore. I will again state that today is October the 1st. It is Breast Cancer Awareness Month. As a breast cancer survivor, I encourage all of the women in the men's lives and all of you as women who are in the audience and those that may hear my voice that will take good care of yourself and be sure that you have your annual mammogram to prolong life. That's the goal, to beat cancer and everybody experience a wonderful lifetime full of many, many birthdays. I'll also state that I appreciate, again, the leadership of Mr. Boyonis, all of the directors who are supporting all of our management levels at every single level, not just in the academy of the graduates we saw today, but yesterday We had customer service boot camp for the middle managers that impact the majority of the front lines of our county, and I am expecting great and wonderful things for that. Thank you for really executing on the 5-year plan, and I know this was part of empowering Marion for success. And I do believe that the more we talk about leadership, that we model leadership, that we'll only keep getting better and better, most especially as it comes to customer service. And for all of the employees out there, we sit up here simply as policymakers. We are citizens in this community, and we expect you to take care of us as citizens as well, just as you would for every citizen in Marion County. So we appreciate all of your service and your leadership as the directors. So with that, I will adjourn this meeting. Thank you.